Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Sam Roberts Wrestling Podcast.
We're here at the WWE Performance Center. Sam Roberts, Katie Linendoll, and Apollo Crews, the newest, most buzzworthy, exciting signee to WWE and NXT.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
This is cool. We were waiting for this one.
Yeah, I mean, the question on everybody's mind, what's the haps?
What's the haps, man? You know, it's out here working every day, just trying to get a grasp of everything, man, because it still doesn't seem real to me.
It doesn't.
It doesn't. It seems like it's, because, like I said, you dream of a moment, and I've said this before, you dream of a certain moment, like reaching your dream, and you get there, and when you get there, it feels like you're dreaming. You know what I mean? It's just, I'm trying to, I have those moments where it's like, okay, this is real, and then something happens again. Like for me, it was Brooklyn. It's like, oh man, I get settled in, and oh man, Brooklyn, 16,000 people.
Yeah.
And then, okay, Brooklyn dies down a little bit, and then here I am in like Texas or touring Austin, Houston, and San Antonio. I'm like, wow, this is crazy.
Getting ready for the London tour.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, wait, there's no time for it to really like settle in.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much going on that I don't want to miss out on on those moments. I want to look back and be like, okay, I really enjoy that to
Do you diary? Do you journal?
I don't. I should. I think I should. Yeah.
Just
someone is telling me I should do that just to like document, certain things and go back and just maybe relive what that moment felt like.
Right.
But I've never been much of a writer or a huge reader, so it's
so words are not like your thing.
I'm just like I just take it in mentally, and then I try to do that, and then I'm like, well, I kind of forget what that feels like, when I think back onto that moment. But
do you have a good memory? Like, do you generally like think, oh, that was when this happened?
Yeah,
we were in this building. And
my funny thing is, I remember like specific details that just the most random thing.
Yeah.
And it'll be like the smallest detail. Like I can remember like I don't know, like the look on my dad's face when this or whatever happened, but I can't remember, that actual moment. It's weird.
Right, like you don't remember why he was looking like that, but you
but I
remember
the look on his face. Yeah, it's weird.
Funny.
Weird.
It's interesting that like you're looking at this like this is a dream thing and you can't believe it's reality because you were one of the very few guys who didn't have to come. I mean, you were successful independently wrestling.
Yep.
Not that many people are, but like not only you were making money, you had notoriety. You know what I mean? And you were kind of one of those guys.
It was always a goal. Like the reason I did start doing those, like working on the indies and doing those things before I got here was to get here. So it was cool. Like at the time when I was asked to come here, I didn't even know if WWE knew about me. I was having fun. I was like, man, I'm enjoying life. I was traveling to Japan, England, all over the place. So when I was approached by someone who wasn't even, working with the company, I told him, I don't even know, like, if they know who I am. I was just kind of like, everyone's like, oh, when are you going to WWE, especially with your family, when you start doing something like that?
Yeah.
Especially with my parents. My parents are Nigerian, so, like, their culture is completely different.
Uh-huh.
So for me to say I want to be a wrestler is not it's not normal there.
What they have in mind for you?
A lawyer, like go to school, finish school, become a lawyer, doctor.
Custom-made suits.
I wouldn't mind that.
Are they over here now?
No, my mom is. Yeah, my parents are separated. My mom lives here, but my dad lives in Ethiopia right now.
Wow.
Actually, yeah, he's with the United Nations. Yeah, so his mentality, because
It's incredible.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Do you go over and visit?
I haven't for a while. He comes here now.
Huh.
Yeah. So I saw him. I don't even remember last time I saw him, to be honest. But he was here recently. Just had a knee replacement, and he has to get the other knee replaced too. So I'm looking at it like he never played any sports, and if I do this, how many knees do I gotta get?
I was about to say, if you're gonna get a knee, what did he do? A somersault off the top rope?
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I'll teach you, but you can't do it better than me. Otherwise, they're gonna hire you instead of me.
Where did this high flying action come from?
Well, I took gymnastics as a young kid. I could always flip. I'd be on my bed, or whatever, trampolines, just doing like the most random stuff. I was like, I just want to try this, and I'd go and try it. One day I was my mom used to live in apartments, and I gathered the whole neighborhood, not the whole neighborhood, but most of our friends, and I was like, hey guys, I'm gonna do a backflip outside. I don't know why at the time it was such a huge deal, but everyone was like, you can't do it, you can't do it. It's gonna the first time I was gonna try it on grass, rather than just like a trampoline or like a bed or something. Sure. I had to be like 6 or 8 or something, I'm not sure yet. It's close to 10. All my childhood memories come from around the age of 10. I don't know why. But
it's a good year.
It is, right? Yeah, I'm like, well, most happened when I was 10. I think I got spanked the most when I was 10. The most stuff happened, so it's weird. And I go outside and I do this, back handspring, and everyone's like, oh man, that's so cool. So they're like, do it again. And so I had a grasp of like flipping before I started taking gymnastics. And as a kid, like, kids are harsh as kids. And I wish I had my mentality now when I was a kid, because right now I wouldn't really care what people thought.
Right.
Back then, but back then I cared what people thought. So I take gymnastics to like, oh no, that's not something, a guy should be doing. It, just teasing me, picking at me for doing that. So I went and started playing like soccer and stuff. Like, sport I thought was more like, for me, more manly or
Meanwhile,
whatever.
it's giving you such a unique style.
Yeah. If
and
I
you
do
make
it,
it
man,
look
if I
so
had, if
effortless. And that's what I love about this. Like, you just do it just because you can.
Yeah.
Like mid-match, you're like, I don't need to do it, but I'm gonna do it.
Gonna do it.
Yeah, there's no like, here's my hand gesture, here's my this. Wait till you see this. It's just like, what did he just do?
I think that's better because people are more surprised,
Right.
because
Yes.
they look at me, a guy like, built like me, and they don't expect that. You know what I mean? That's what I've, which is cool with me. And that's why I think it was easy for me to, get to certain places I did before I got here because my style was so different and unique.
And is this why you start like weight training and getting so big because the kids are picking on you? So you're like, not only am I gonna know gymnastics, I'm gonna be able to punch your face in.
There was something like that. But I used to watch wrestling as a kid, and I was just so fascinated by the bigger guys. You know what I mean? Like Ultimate Warrior, guys like that, man, and like Lex Luger, guys are just jacked. And when I went to military high school. When I got there, weightlifting, if you play football, was actually a mandatory class.
Wow.
Yeah, so I was like 15 when I started like actually like, caring and being competitive. We'd have like our testing days. We like max in like bench, squat, power cleans, and we'd all be like, in a race or who has the highest lifts and the whole thing. And at one point I had the highest lifts total, like the 1,000-pound club. I made that. I had the highest lifts in the whole school, and that's kind of like where the name I used before this came from. So it's pretty neat.
And that name came from because they said you could take over an entire nation.
Well, he said I was as strong as the whole nation.
Strong as the whole nation. That's
Like,
a
Uhaa
good
Nation.
place to be, man.
I'm like, that's cool with me. At first I didn't like it. I was like, nah, don't call me that. And the whole school started calling me Uhaa Nation.
Oh, it
They
has
got
like a
me up there with
vibe
them.
to
They
it.
played- Yeah,
It plays
it's
on.
cool.
What's that like
It's
when
cool.
you get here? So you get to the Performance Center and pretty early on, like before you get on and do your first TV match, they rename you. Is there something to this thing? Well, I've built Uhaa Nation as a name and a brand that people know. I don't know if that's something I want to let go of.
Well, I understand how it works too. I was looking at guys coming here before me who even, had more buzz than I did, or who were bigger stars than me on the Indies,
Yeah.
and they all did the same thing. So for me, it was just a thing of I didn't have any memory behind Apollo Crews. It was just at the time it was just a name. It was just like, okay, yeah, I had so much memory behind Uhaa Nation. I was wrestling as him for like 6 years.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that was all I knew at the time. I think it just was a matter of building character and building a story to.
So you wanted to
Apollo
get here
Crews.
and start from scratch.
Yeah, and I knew I had to. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And like I said, with everything I did before he led me up to this point, so I appreciate all that. But this is a new start, and I want people to recognize what I do here.
Right.
Even though they recognize what I do there, I want them to recognize what I do here. It's a new start, new name, and it's getting better because I'm actually responding to that name. People were calling me Apollo at first, and I'm just completely ignoring because I don't hear it.
But you got to shake people off. Like even on NXT the other week, the commentator Rich was like Apollo Creed, and then Corey was like, it's Apollo Creed.
Right. It's hard because I think I was doing like a voiceover, and I was reading it. And I was just going over it, and I'm like, Apollo Creed, and I didn't even realize I said it. And Ryan Katz had pointed out to me, he's like, yeah, see, you just said Apollo Creed, and I'm like, oh man, I didn't.
But that's the name. Apollo Creed means Terry Crews. Is that what it is?
Well, Terry Crews is actually a comedian. I don't call him a comedian, actor. He does multiple things. So
You should be a football player.
yeah, and people say I look like him.
Yeah.
I think I'm a little more handsome.
You do.
It's all good. So it's funny because when the name came out, a lot of people were tweeting to him. A lot of people were tweeting him, and I guess he read them and he tweeted me back. He just told me to. He's loving the new name and that I should represent it well. And I was just like, oh man, this is awesome.
It's awesome.
It's cool.
Yeah.
It's
Your
cool.
ramp up has been quite fast.
It has. Yeah.
And to come out in NXT TakeOver Brooklyn was huge for you.
Yep.
And then now, I mean, you have your songs on iTunes. I feel like you just exploded out the gate. But
Right.
being here at NXT it's just fast.
It is. And it's one of those things. Like I said earlier, I don't want to miss out on the moments. Like I want to remember everything. Like Triple H has said it before. No matter where we go from here, we're gonna look back on this moment. It's probably gonna be the greatest time of our life. I don't want to look back and be like,
Wow.
NXT. I remember, I love it, but it just went by so fast.
Yeah.
I want to enjoy.
So you almost
everything.
don't want to be rushed up to the main roster. You want to kind of live in this
Yeah,
just
I
for
do.
a second.
Yeah,
like,
just for a sec. I want to do we have. I have goals that I set, and I want to accomplish everything I can here possible.
Yeah.
And I think.
So when you become the #1 contender this earlier, you guys like, slow down, guys.
It's amazing because my tryout was a year ago, you know, and like day one I said I was going to come in here and my goal is to be champion, you know, so that for me to be in this spot is an honor.
Yeah.
You know, it just shows that all the, like, and my road isn't harder than anybody else's, but I do know how hard I've worked to get here.
Right.
You know, and to be in this opportunity is a blessing. It's an honor. You know, I'm glad they have the faith in me to put me in this position. And I want to go out there and take full advantage of it, make the best of it.
Yeah.
And to put you in the position at TakeOver in Brooklyn, I feel like, you know, we were chatting before this, you have these moments in life where you've worked so hard to get to that moment.
Yeah.
What was it like for you coming out? Were you nervous? And you're like, either you make it or break it in this moment. There's so many people watching it. It turned out to be much bigger than anybody anticipated.
Right.
Was it just like very intense for you?
It's weird that I had serious cotton mouth, but I wasn't like, I was relaxed, you know. But I go and
So it just hit you right in your mouth.
Right, and I'm just like, yeah, my guys, I'm Apollo Crews, you know. And I think I came out and it was just a genuine reaction. Like I like what you saw on camera was what I was going through my head.
It seems like a lot with you. Like you're very genuine and it's captured.
It like I came out and the first thing I noticed is how many people were there. And I cussed as soon as I came out. I'm like, wait, I'm not allowed to say that. You know what I'm saying? It was the first thing I said when I came out. And
what did the word start with?
O. And then the second one was an S.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so.
But you have to be like, I got this.
Yeah.
Like, I have to own this moment. It's like sink or swim.
But it is. I was like, no matter how many people have been out there, I know I've been in the ring before. It's not my first time coming out here in the ring. It is my first time in front of that many people. But I know when it comes down to it, I know what I'm doing in here. So I'd say that, man, given this opportunity, like I said, if they're throwing me in the deep end, wherever they're throwing me at, I got to learn how to swim right now, and I got to learn how to swim very well. So,
and speaking of learning how to swim, like it's kind of weirdly coincidental that just as you start to get rolling, WWE has this Breaking Ground show.
Yep.
So now you not only have to learn how to, you know, be an NXT superstar, but you also have to do it with a camera on you.
Yeah, and that was it was different at first because I've never had a camera follow me like almost 24/7. You know, they come to my house, they follow me everywhere. There's one day where he followed me literally from 7 a.m. in the morning from my house to here, back to my house.
Wow. You want to just punch him in the face at some point? You're like, dude, what's up?
It's
just
weird,
Kanye West.
like,
camera out of my face.
For me, it was like, it was weird at first, and they said, after a couple weeks, they used to, and I was like, I don't think I will. But the other day, we're sitting here, and someone was like, the camera's pointing on you, and I'm like, where? And I didn't even notice he was there, and I was like, you know, I've gotten used to it. But it's a cool opportunity for us to, like, you know, for people to see what we do here. I don't think everybody fully understands what we go through on becoming NXT superstars or how hard we work here in this performance center.
What is it that you want them to see? Like, what are some of the things that you're doing that you want people to see on Breaking Ground?
I want people to get a new respect for this. You know, I mean, everyone has their opinions on sports entertainment, but, you know, no matter what is said, I don't think people understand exactly how hard we work. You know, we're here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, with shows Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We'll come in here before those shows, either get ring time or get gym time. And I just don't, and then Saturday we have our only off day down here is Sunday. Sunday's our only off day, and Saturday Jacksonville, 2.5 hour drive, get back 2 a.m. You know what I mean? Got to meal prep the next day, and Sunday might not even be an off day because I'll still go to the gym. I have laundry to do, you know, errands to run, grocery shopping, whatever you have to do. So it's I want people to understand that no matter what's said about professional wrestling or sports entertainment, I should say rather, we still work extremely hard to entertain everybody.
And what's the hardest thing that you do here at the Performance Center?
Physically, I think just getting up every day and having to repeat what we did the day before, no matter how sore you are. You know, we're in the ring 3 hours, in the gym hour, 30 minutes, and it's, you know, it's like back to back, and then we have to get up the next day, do it again. You know, so you get beat up, you get bruised, and then doing the shows too. It's like, you know, you feel different pain every day. You know, your back might hurt one day, your knee hurts the other day, but just to get up and push yourself, and you got to know your body as well too. You know when you're injured and you know when you're hurt. How
do you differentiate your physicality? Like, how do you keep your figure and your shape that you want to when there's things that you're doing as wrestlers that are consistent and that everybody does across the board? Then is it just taking it to the weight room and knowing who's helping you train? We
got a great strength and conditioning coach in here, which he'll lay out like you know, weightlifting programs for us. You know
knowing
what I mean?
what you want though.
Yeah, knowing our
cater to
goals.
those,
Yeah,
like-
knowing to our goals, and he gives us programs according to what we're doing here as well. You know, it won't be anything. You know, we won't like we understand like when we get in the ring, some days we may not like go too crazy, especially if we have a rough day in the gym or something like that. But we make sure we stretch out every day. We started doing yoga here too, actually.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's cool. We have yoga I think like once a week. It's an hour long, so they're just getting us different options for us to stay as healthy as possible because they know how hard we go and they know how important it is to get the rest is just as important, if not more important, than putting in the actual work.
Absolutely.
You know, eating, dieting. You know, when you can, getting that rest when you can. You know, and then being on the road, being in a car. I don't think people really understand. People have taken road trips. Everyone's taken road trips, but I don't think you do a road trip. I mean, maybe a couple times a year. You know, we're on the road 3 days a week, maybe even more when you get to the main roster. So it's not as easy as people think, and that's what I want people to see is that we work extremely hard, but we do it because we love it and we do it to entertain everybody.
And how do you get past this mentality? Because a guy in your position could, on those hard days where it's like you don't want to get up, you don't want to do it, it's the same thing you've done 100 times, you don't want to do it. You could be saying to yourself, I could just be back in Dragon Gate and not have to deal with any of this. Like all I would have to, if I walked out today, I got a job tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, how do you remind yourself on that this is a much bigger long-term picture?
For me, this is where I wanted to be since day one. Even doing all the things I did before this is the ultimate goal. And there's thousands of people that would die to be here. You know what I mean? And I'm here. So for me to wake up and not take full advantage of it, I don't think is fair to those guys because they could easily be here wanting it more than me or outworking me. So my motivation just comes from just being here, you know what I mean? Like the first day I walked in here, it still hasn't wore off on me that we're in a place like this, you know what I mean? Because before where I came from, you don't have stuff like this.
Where were you living before Orlando?
Atlanta, Georgia.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I was living out there flying out. In my training school back in Atlanta, it's a warehouse. Rings that don't look like this.
Who were you hanging with here mostly?
Here it's probably
like your buddies?
Solomon Crow, Levis Valenzuela, Kenneth Crawford, Angelo Dawkins. Those are probably the core guys that I hang out with. I got a nice group of people here that I've actually bonded with.
That's good.
A lot of them from my class that I came in with.
I think for people on Breaking Ground, it's exciting to see those moments as much as it is with the hard work.
Yeah.
Like, what's that dude hang with?
I think that's what people want to see too. Is like when they come to my house, I think people want to see that. You know what I mean? Like I want to see what he does.
I mean, when you're a kid and you're watching wrestling, like you're like, they're friends in real life.
Right.
And it's like, really? What do you think they do?
And it's good for people to see that. You know what I mean? Like it's good for them to see what we do. As hard as we work here, we do outside too. We hang out. I'm a regular dude. We're all regular people. I like to go to, the mall and do this or go. I wouldn't say the gym because that's
Do
not
you get recognized a lot out now?
I have lately, and it's weird because I'm still not used to it.
You weren't getting recognized as Uhaa?
Sometimes I would, but not just walking around like Atlanta. Yeah, it'd be like more through social media or at the actual show. Like I might be like down the street from the venue before I get there. But here, I'm like, I know a lot of people live in Orlando that watch the product, but I'm at Jason's Deli or something, and like, oh, you're Apollo Crews, and I'm like, is that me? I am him. That is me.
You get a free sandwich.
Right. I'm like,
free sandwich.
That's cool. And people in my apartment complex actually. I was coming back from Texas. I was just unpacking my bags from the car, taking them in. This girl walks by, and she's just looking at me funny, and I'm like, do I have something like this? What's going on? She comes back. She's like, she was on the phone when she walked by. She comes back. She's like, are you Apollo Crews? And I'm like, yeah, that's me. I was like, I just got back from Texas, long day. Apparently her boyfriend works at Full Sail. He's a fan too, so it was cool. Saw him the other day. They're nice people, man. And coming down the same apartment complex, this little girl's coming down the stairs. She's just like, hi. And the guy was looking after her was like, say hi to Apollo. And I'm like, oh, it's just cool to be, see that kind of thing. Yeah.
I got a weird question for you. How come I go on www.shop.com and I type in New Day and Apollo Crews comes up?
I think because the back of my shirt says since day one.
Yeah.
So maybe the day in there.
You got to search New Day in quotes.
Yeah, right. I think that day
because day is a key word.
I'm getting all sorts of confusing. We've actually had this conversation on a podcast before. I don't know if we could ever see you like in a tag. Do you ever see yourself teamed up with someone, or are you such like a solo deal?
I like being solo. I like being solo. I like depending, even when I did things in high school, even as a team sports, there's something about just depending on yourself. Like when you're out there, it's you versus this guy, and you know that you're your only chance of survival. You know what I mean? Just something I thrive off of that.
Would you ever be interested in a manager?
And me having one or me being one? Yeah, definitely.
You being one, dude.
Yeah, it's not working out for you in the ring right now, dude.
Not right now.
It's not impressive.
Not right now.
You know, I definitely wouldn't mind that. That'd be pretty cool. I think there'd be some interesting things we could do there too. So that'd be cool. Tagging is I wouldn't mind it, but I do love singles a lot more.
Yeah,
but
it's
a
like
manager would be pretty cool actually. I could see that though. Yeah.
Well, we're looking forward to watching everything happen.
Definitely, I appreciate it, guys.
Terry Creed here.
All things Apollo Crews.
Right.
Yeah, Apollo Crews. And I heard this is your first podcast since you signed with WWE. Is that right?
Yeah, I've done interviews, but nothing like this. So this is pretty amazing. I'm excited about this.
Good, genuine character.
Yeah.
Love it.
Love
What
it.
you see is what you get.
All right, man. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. It was
Appreciate
fun. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, it's Sam Roberts. I hope you enjoyed that wrestling interview from Sam Roberts Wrestling Podcast. You can go to notsam.com to subscribe to that podcast. But I upload videos like that on this YouTube channel all the time. So if you don't already subscribe, subscribe now. It's on the side of the page. I made it real easy. Click the button. Subscribe to the page. Subscribe to the page.